Hello, welcome to another track guide for the oNiD Simhound Rookie Amateur Series, and this week we are at Donington. I've used the Endurance 6-hour server to do this because this is where the BOP was correctly applied, but the conditions are very similar to what they'll be during Thursday's race. So today I'm in the Mercedes. 72 litres of fuel, again what I would consider a race stint. The conditions were mid-20s air, mid-20s track. It was an optimum track, so let's go around. So as you cross the start-finish line, you want to get over to the left-hand side, ready for the braking point in T1. Now the braking point for T1 is tricky because there's no specific marker. So as you approach the end of the green, as the pit lane starts to close, realistically you can push it as far as you want. Depends how brave you are. I would recommend braking a tad earlier than the end, just it will give you a better exit down the hill. And if you have a bad exit out of T1, you will lose a lot of time down the hill. So I recommend brake a tad earlier here just to get the better line and exit through the corner. So I brake as it starts to narrow down, maybe halfway across the pit exit. I will start to brake. I will get down to second, and the aim is to get turned in. See, I'm slowly coming off the brakes, and as I approach the end of this green patch, I will get back on the accelerator, and if you take the line right, it will drag you around the corner nicely. I was a bit eager on the throttle and got a little bit of oversteer, but that will give you a good exit out the corner and a good run down the hill, and you will gain a lot of time there. If you get that corner wrong, you will lose time. It's pretty noticeable, so we will watch it in real time. So get on the brakes halfway across the pit exit, get turned in, accelerate as the green ends, and it should give you a good run out. Now this whole section down here is full throttle, you don't need a brake, you don't need a lift, and this brings us to the braking point for the next corner. I think this one's called the old hairpin. Your braking marker is this first one on the right here. If that is taken out by someone, the only other way I can explain it is as your A pillar gets close to the Pirelli sign. Hopefully nobody takes this out, because when they do, it makes it tricky. So we'll watch. So as I hit the one marker, I'll get on the brakes, down to third, and as I approach the little marker with the right hand turn on, it's when I'll start to turn in. And if you look, I'm coasting here, and as I go over the curb, I will get back on the power. Teeny bit of oversteer, but you can use all of the exit curb. Be careful not to hit the grass on the way out, because there's a nasty bump and it'll flick the back of your car up. But it's a pretty nice turn. Once you get your ribbon round here, it feels nice going around that corner. So give it a bit of practice and you'll be good. So we'll watch it in real time. So brake at the marker, down to third, coast round and accelerate at the curb. Use all of the exit curb. Again, flat out all the way up here, you don't have to lift. And the braking point for the next corner, this braking marker, if this has been taken out, you do have this concrete patch here, or as the curb ends, which will give you a good indicator, but hopefully nobody takes that out. So as you approach it, you want to get on the brakes and then get turned in nice and early. The goal is to get your right hand side of the car over this curb, and you feather the throttle around. Again, I get a snap of oversteer, but what we'll do is we'll go back and watch it to see where I get on the power. So I'm coming off the brakes now, coasting slightly. Just as I approach the curb to get my right hand side tyres on it is when I get back on the power. You might have to feather the throttle, if depending on what car you drive, it might try kill you. But if you get on it gradually, like I was able to get full throttle quite early here, but it gives you a good exit out of this corner. Again, this is another corner where a lot of time can be lost. Give it a few goes. Don't run too wide. Again, there's a nasty bump here which will flick the back of the car up. So be off the exit curb before that. And it should give you a good run round. So we'll watch it in full speed. So you want to brake at the marker, get turned in, coast, put your accelerator on at the curb, use all the exit curb, and this will bring us to the next braking point, which really is halfway up this hill. You want to get on the brakes. I take this one in second. Get turned in because you want the right hand side of the car to go over this curb. And as your car just leaves the curb, get back on the throttle. If you take this line right, this full right hander here, you will be able to take it full throttle. You won't have to lift. If you get the line slightly wrong, you may have to feather the throttle because your back end does like to come round around here. But if you get it right, full throttle, use all of the exit curb. Again, it's an important corner to get right because there's a straight afterwards. Practice it a few times. Get used to putting your right hand side wheels over that curb. It is a little bumpy. At first it might unsettle your car, but the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it, and you will save time down here. So we will watch it in full speed. So you want to brake halfway up the hill, down to second, get turned in, then back on the power as you come off the curb, giving you a good run out. And as you come down the straight, you want to get over to the right hand side, ready for the next braking point. The braking point, what I use this one is, as I start to go down the hill, I will get on the brakes. Down to second, I will lift off and turn in, because the aim is to get your left hand side car over this green bit. The tyre barrier and the cones will likely have been taken out by then. Get your left hand side of the car over the green bit, keeping your right hand side on the tarmac, because this is a place for track cuts and you could invalidate the lap or get a speed token here. So as you come off this left hand side curb, you want to be on the power. If you take it right, you can full power this, and realistically getting the chicane right, you can make 3 or 4 tenths up just on this chicane. So as you come off the curb, you get on the power, get your right hand side of the car on the green bit, keep your left hand side on the tarmac so you don't break track limits. And you should be full power by here, giving you a good run out. You can use the exit curb here. I would suggest it, just use as much of the track as you can because you've paid for it. And that will give you a good run out up into the 2 hairpins. So we will give this a watch in full speed. So as you start going down the hill, you want to get on the brake, cut the left hand side on the power, cut the right hand side and use all the exit curb. Keep to the left hand side, ready for the braking point for the first hairpin, which as soon as this brake marker on the left here, the one, as soon as it leaves my sight, I hit the brakes. In the Mercedes, personally, I take this corner in gear 1. If you're running extremely low traction control, you might want to try gear 2. Depends what car you drive, you'll get the feel of it as you go around. But I get right on the brakes, I modulate the brakes a lot here. I start turning in as the curb ends, because the goal is to get as tight to this hairpin as you can. See, I'm still modulating the brakes, and as I get halfway round, I will hit the throttle. Full throttle round here if you get the right line. It won't oversteer, it won't slide out, you'll be good. And that will give you a good run up to the next hairpin, which is the last corner. So we will watch that in real time. So brake as this breaker marker leaves your sight. Get turned in as tight as you can. As soon as you get halfway around, hit the power. And then get over to the right hand side as quick as you can. And your braking point for this one is halfway along this striped curb. Once you get about halfway along, as you'll see, hit the brakes. Get turned in nice and early. Again, you want to be hugging this one as tight as you can. Again, I'm modulating the brakes coming on and off them. As soon as you get halfway around, hit the power. And if you've got your line right, it will drag you around nicely. You might get a snap of oversteer. If so, feather the throttle. If you get the line right though, you should be able to full power it. And that will give you a good run out to the finish line. So we will watch that in full speed. So you want to brake halfway down the curb, get turned in, keep it nice and tight, get on the power halfway around, use the exit curb, and that will take it over the line. This with 70 litres of fuel I think was a 1:27.3, which is decent race pace. If you can't match that, don't worry about it. Donny is a track that takes a bit of getting used to, but when you get in the rhythm round here, it is one of the best tracks on the game because it feels nice when you start going around the corners and you can feel yourself picking up time here and there. So what I would recommend is just do some practice. Look at the brake markers I've given you because they will help you. And what I'll do now is I'll go around a lap of the track without me rabbiting on, so you can just watch it. And then I'll do one on the outside of the car as usual. Again, I'll show you the outside of the car so you can get a good idea of the car positioning. And we'll go around again. there we go. That is a track guide of Donington. As usual, if you need any advice, any questions, message me on Discord. Coaching sessions, again, will be on Wednesday evening at 7:15 UK time. Myself, Scrub and Miles Dixon will be in this week to give you a hand where we can. I hope the video gives you an idea of where you need to be braking and accelerating, and I hope it helps you. But I will see you on Thursday. Good luck for the race, and I'll catch you later on.